Hello everyone and welcome to Bicker Brothers blog. I'm just stopping in. Sean's been sick for the past few days, so we haven't gotten to record our usual MMO Sunday. So I'm stopping in to talk about some of the things I have planned and how the channel's been doing. We've recently gotten over, I think we're at over 1,100 views right now. As of today, we're at 58 subscribers. We were at 59, but we lost one. I think YouTube did another one of their usual purge things. They just recently changed a bunch of stuff. YouTube has a dark mode now and a whole bunch of fancy stuff that doesn't really do much good for anyone. I like the dark mode, but that's about it. We've been at this. We're coming up on what? It'll be a year in January, on January 4th. So we've had at this 3/4 of the year so far, and I've got to say I've loved every minute of this. This has been more fun than I could have ever imagined. Just being able to put content out there and just having a reason to just sit down, have fun, you know, it gives me something to do every day. I spent a lot of my time before, and I think I've said this before, but I spent a lot of time just sitting around watching TV, not doing really much of anything. And I think a lot of that ended up putting me kind of into a depression for a while. I spent so much time just not doing anything. I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere in life. Since Sean and I have started this channel, I feel, you know, more energized to get up in the morning, get to work, get things done. You know, I've been working more on improving my own life, straightening things out. I've been studying Japanese this year, off and on. I've just picked it up, back up. I started at the beginning of the year, where I was learning it fairly consistently, and I just picked it back up recently, and I'm definitely getting back into it. I'm really enjoying it. I picked up for the beginning of the year, and I'll probably pick it up again too with the ukulele. And learning that was a lot of fun for a while. But I think a lot of this has come about because of the channel pushing me to go and just do something, not just sit around all day, you know, staring at the TV bored. Now I sit around all day, stare at the computer, and work on things. Because, you know, there's such a huge difference there. I'm hoping soon to be getting a new custom-built desk that will be a big U-shaped wraparound desk for me to work at. I think we've got a lot of interesting stuff coming up. I'm going to be working on convincing Sean to agree to some challenge videos. He doesn't particularly like the idea of eating weird things, which is like 90% of challenge videos. So, go yell at him if you want us to do some cool challenge videos. I actually just today found a store that sells kangaroo and ostrich and alligator jerky and a whole bunch of weird different jerkies that I think would be fun for a challenge video. And they sell like crickets and ants that are like stuff like that that's edible, like inside candies. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do for a challenge video, but you gotta talk to Sean about that. I have tried and pushed him to do it, but I think it'd be a lot of fun. We've got a spice challenge video coming up next time we meet up to record. We haven't decided what game we're gonna do, but we're gonna get some spicy chicken and eat that and play something difficult. Then Well, let me talk a little bit about like how things have been going since Sean's moved. Sean moved, I guess it's been a few months ago now, and he moved a couple hours away from where I live, and it's made things a little more difficult to record, which is why you've seen a lot more of our online type videos where we've recorded like MMO Sunday, our PlayerUnknown stuff. We've been recording more online stuff, but when we do meet up, we meet up once every month or so, just whenever we can, and we record huge batches. So if you're getting mad at us for missing something in a game, and you want us to go back, it's probably not going to happen, because it probably happened like a month and a half ago. I wish we could. I wish we could still meet up every week like we used to, but we just don't have the money or the time to do it. And that's something that as the channel gets bigger, we get views, and when we eventually start making money from it, we can more often meet up, record together. It's mostly just a financial burden right now. Which I guess brings me to our Patreon. We set up a little while back. I don't know if I had it up when I did the last vlog or not, but we set up a Patreon account to try and bring some extra money flowing in until we hit that 10,000 subscriber point on YouTube. And for those of you who don't know, YouTube's new sort of policy, it's been the past few months. Their policy is until you hit 10,000 views, you can't really monetize anything. You can monetize it, but you're not going to get anything from it. And that money, it's an incentive to get people not to just make one-hit viral or make like 3 videos, expect to get 1 million from it and give up, and then the money never goes anywhere. It just sits in the void. And I understand it, but at the same time it kind of sucks. We're at, like I said, 1,100, so we're a little over 1/10 of the way there. So the more you guys watch our videos, the more, you tell your friends about us, put us out there, and the faster we grow, the sooner we can hit that 10,000 mark, and we can start affording, new cameras, things like that. But for those of you who want to give to us now, we have a Patreon. It's in the description below. That allows you to, for $1 a month, $5 a month. There's various little benefits and rewards for it. It gives access. All reward levels give access to a extra tier on our Discord, which is also in the description below, and it's just another channel that we're on a little bit more often than we are in the general chat. And right now we're on the general chat most of the time because there's not a lot of people. It's just a few people we know, but currently our only Patreon is our good friend Volt, which, thank you, Volt. He's pretty much been one of our biggest benefactors so far, as throwing games our way, throwing money our way, to help support the channel and get us a little bit more off the ground. And we'll be soon, I believe we're going to be recording a game with Volt. He just recently gave us copies of Borderlands 2, and he really wants to play with us, so we'll be doing that soon. But the Patreon and the rewards, if you have ideas for reward tiers, things like that, let us know. We'd be happy to work things out. And but I mean, for the lowest amount, it's $1 a month. And the way I view it, I mean, by all means, if you can't afford $1 a month, don't worry about it. We're not here to, beg you for money. But if you can't afford it, $1 a month is not much. I mean, when I worked at the local grocery store, I made 600, or not 600, I made about 300 a month, 350 a month. $1 of that, it's not much. I mean, but when more people give that dollar, it adds up over time. And all of that money is going to be going to us to get new cameras, if our computer breaks, things like that, and try and build the channel. Everything, none of it's going to us for personal use. It's all going straight into the channel. You know, at some point we'd like to be able to get an office, so we're not always working out of my room, and I don't have to deal with the curtain behind me, hiding my entire room, which is perpetually a disaster. You know, I'm considering, I've been getting recently into painting little D&D minis. I don't know if I can get it to focus on that. Come on. I don't think it's going to focus. But I've been painting these, and I'm not amazing at it, but I'm decent. And I think I might make that a reward tier on Patreon, is that, you know, if you donate this much a month, I'll paint you a mini. You know, every couple months I'll paint a mini for you. Now that will be a limited thing, because I can't, if we suddenly get a huge influx of people on there, I can't paint 1,000 minis a month on top of my own personal, you know, collection and stuff like that. But I think that would be a fun little item that, you know, people would have fun with. But let me get away from the subject of the Patreon. Growing this channel, I've always heard that growing a YouTube channel is one of those things. It takes a lot of time. And, you know, I expected, like I think everyone does when you first start a YouTube channel, that you'd start growing a little bit faster. But, you know, sticking it out, we are starting to see, you know, when we first started, we got a huge burst of subscribers right at the beginning that were like friends, family, stuff like that. But we've been seeing you guys joining more and more rapidly as our subscriber numbers have gone up, as our views have gone up. Our views actually have skyrocketed recently, which is fantastic. It's... I try not to make YouTube a numbers game. I'm terrible at not making it a numbers game, because I like seeing the numbers go up, but it is very, very, you know, it's just, you get a good feeling. It's almost like that addictive feeling. It just feels so good to see the numbers go up. Now, like I said, I'm not making it into a numbers game. I'm not making this about, oh, well, I'm not going to be happy till I have 1 million viewers. I honestly, at this point, even if no one was watching, I think I'd probably still be doing this. It's fun, and it gives me an excuse to sit down and play the 1 million games that I've never actually played. You know, I used to just sit or go to GameStop or, you know, local game shops and buy a whole bunch of games, and I'd never get to playing them because, you know, I never had time, or I just never had the, you know, I was busy sitting in bed watching TV. You know, I just didn't actually ever play any games. I just collected them and accumulated them. Since I've started the channel, all those games you've been seeing, you know, come up. I mean, I still have tons and tons of games to go through. And it's, you know, making that choice of, you know, what game do we want to play today? What, you know, what would the viewers enjoy? As well as, you know, keeping things balanced, which I have actually a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun running the YouTube channel and managing things like scheduling and things like that. Well, to me, it's a puzzle. You know, how do I get, you know, okay, well, these days we're doing this long series. Well, we don't need more than one long series. People are going to get tired of that. So, you know, well, let's put in these short mini-series inside of it. and run all those alongside of it, and like spacing things out like that, and trying to keep things from becoming boring and monotonous. It's to me, it's almost like a puzzle. And if you've watched my Legend of Grimrock series, I love puzzles like that. As long as they're not super difficult and get me frustrated. But doing things like that, working on the thumbnails, I'm actually having a lot of fun with. I always try, unless there's like no way I could figure out how to do it. Like Emily's is away, I had to just use the same thumbnail for each one. But I always try and use a screenshot from that episode. I only ever stretch the thumbnail or flip it, and it's an interesting challenge to do. I'd like to get, if I can get to a point where I have a little more free time, I'd also like to get to the point where I can actually put a little more work into them. But I just think it's cool taking that one screenshot and trying to figure out, or the one episode, and using a screenshot from that episode. But, running a YouTube channel, it's definitely a challenge at times. I mean, it does compete with, daily life, things like that. I still have to, I manage my grandmother's apartment buildings for her, and I've learning my and studying Japanese, and there's other things I have to do in my life that can't take a back seat to the channel, but at the same time, the channel is most of the time one of my main priorities. I always try and get videos prepared and ready to go at least a day or two ahead of time. I'm trying to get better about that right now and get things a week or so ahead of time. Especially with, we're planning, Sean and I, to meet up within the next couple weeks again, so that we can, record another, huge batch. He's actually about to, hopefully, be getting a job out there, and that's going to also cut into when we can and can't record. So we're hoping to try and, catch a moment before a week or so before he has to go and record, and a week is going to be our longest recording session ever. Like, we recorded like almost half a year's worth of episodes for a particular series in like 3 days. So a week, I think, we're gonna be set for a while, which is good because we're not going to have to be constantly worrying about, well, oh gosh, this series is running out, but oh, I don't have a day off or any time off for the next week, things like that. Running the YouTube, and I can't speak for Sean, but I really think, it's really helped him a lot, I think, too. But like I said, I can't speak for Sean. I tried to message him just before I recorded this, and he put his phone on the charger and hasn't responded back yet, so shame on you, Sean. Gotta keep that phone with you. But, I think at this point I'm probably just rambling, filling up time, but, I gotta say, I really appreciate you guys watching. It means the world to me. Just knowing that there's people out there who actually find us funny, because God knows our content is terrible. I have watched back a lot of these episodes. I've gone back actually recently and watched back some of our old episodes, and I say old, we haven't even hit a year, but like some of our first episodes, and the quality, there is a world of difference in our quality between now and then. Like, our videos then were so terrible. And I think when we record next, I think we're going to sit down and we're going to actually go back to Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy 15, and we're going to finish them. Because I don't like leaving things unfinished. Unless, like, the game is awful, like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 was, we're never going to go back to that unless someone, like, absolutely demands we go back and play. And even then, I don't know if we will. It was bad. But yeah, I'm rambling at this point, so I'm gonna cut it here, I think. But like I said, I really appreciate anyone who even just watches a few seconds of a video. It, you know, I can't even think of the words. It just means a lot to us, you know. The videos are just such an outlet, I think, for us to just get our feelings out there and just talk without having to worry about what people think. And, you know, I think that's the best thing about YouTube, is just being able to get out there and say what we want, and just to have that release of, you know, knowing that somebody out there is listening and actually gives a damn about what we say. Or not. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know if you care or not. But to me, it feels like people, when people watch our videos, you know, they're watching not just for the gameplay. I'm sure there's plenty of people who watch for the gameplay, but they want to hear what we have to say. And that always just feels great. But I keep saying I need to cut it here. I've rambled enough. If you enjoyed this video, click like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Patreon. Check out our Discord. And as always, have fun.